Welcome back, everybody. Hot Mic rolls on a busy Wednesday morning. Jeff Goodman from the Field of 68 will join us in our second hour. We'll chat some college hoops. The Bison basketball season begins tonight with Minnesota State University Moorhead. Exhibition game. We're televising that. Looking forward to that conversation coming up in our second hour. We're on the doorstep of another big high school football weekend. Actually, it started last night in Minnesota with the opening round of the section tournament. We've got playoff football in North Dakota for 9-man in Class A this weekend. 9-man's into its second round. Top seed in 9-man is Lemoore Litchfield Marion. They've had another dynamite year. We welcome back to the show head coach Andy DeLaBarre, who I was joking with off air. We've done these interviews either you've been in studio, you've been in your car on the side of the road somewhere. We haven't got to look at the palatial studio or the palatial office you have. It's nice, man.
Yeah, it's the final. I got my nice fancy Bison in the background. So yeah, it's a good place to do this.
Well, all right, let's start with that. As a former Bison, your emotions or thoughts of the game Saturday night?
Wow, what a stellar win for the Bison. I mean, to take down SDSU and just to see that defense play like the good old defense, I think that was very telling of the trajectory that the Bison are going to take this year and make a run in the playoffs.
See a quarterback, how Cam Miller has played. You know, you see it all the time. You want to have your seniors have their best year in their last year. That he's living that out here in 2024.
Yeah, to go from what was it last year in the playoffs, he had like one completion in that playoff game, and to where he's at now. I mean, just the work that guy's put in. It's nice to see, and proud of his effort and coming to where he is now.
There are a lot of Jack fans around that part of the world. You got some that cross. I mean, you're close to the border down there. Do you have that or not?
Yeah.
So much? Yeah.
Oh yeah, there's it start to over the last few years too. It dips up into North Dakota, and that's all right. So it felt good to come to work on Monday after that
one. You've had an amazing year again. Tell me about expectations heading into this season. Oh, everybody always has their eyes on your football team. How have you dealt with that and played so well this year?
Well, I think it's every year our expectations never change. It certainly you get certain talents that help kind of lead to what your goals are, and we knew after last year, we had a tough loss to New Rockford and came down to the last few seconds, and we knew we were a team last year that we felt like could have made it to the Fargo Dome and done something there, and we knew we brought a lot back this year. So really a lot of hard work with our boys in the off season. We're always preaching be year-round competitors too, and I think everyone on our team is a multi-sport athlete, which that's what you want as a head coach too. So yeah, our expectations and the standard our boys hold on themselves and each other, it makes coaching easy because they kind of take the reins, and you facilitate from this point.
Was that something, Andy, that the team was used as fuel all off season? Was the loss of New Rock? Did you see that, or was that we turned the page and this is a brand new team?
Both. They said, hey, we're a new team, but we bring a lot back, and at the same time, that's stuck in the back of their mind, and just getting that other opportunity, and if we do get that opportunity this year, well, it's in a great place to do it. So we're gonna just take it one week at a time, like always. Our focus is solely on Hankinson this week, and prepare for that. Play our best football come Saturday.
Your numbers are like video game, man. The least amount of points you scored in the game was the season opener was 40. What was going on? The offense just wasn't in sync yet?
Yeah, Coach Isaacson, he was kind of slacking that day, but no, it's been good to, we feel like our defense and our offense, they mesh well when we can score and play good field position, and we've got some really good athletes too that can make plays, and another theologist in our backfield that kind of really makes a big difference, and he's only a junior now, so a lot of good things here coming from Lemoore.
When you have the kind of success you've had, the fewest amount of games you've won over the last 5 years, I think is 8. How much does that just get the word out to come play football? Have you noticed that just word of mouth that, hey, it's fun, we win? Do you see that kind of gathers more kids to come out and play?
For sure. I think, success breeds success, and that's when you get more excitement about it. And, I think too, just we've gone through years where we were 1-7 before, and we've had 15 kids on the roster, and we've had successful years where we've had 15 kids on the roster. But now this was my first year ever in Lemoore that we had just as many boys out for football as we did for girls volleyball.
Wow.
So that was kind of a cool deal. We have 28 on a roster, and so does volleyball from their A, B, and C squad. So it's kind of a great thing to see the numbers that we've had this season.
You mentioned it's Hankinson. You have a team you saw a few weeks ago. Is there advantage, disadvantage, or is it no real thing that you're playing them again here this coming Saturday?
It's never fun to play someone twice. I mean, no matter who it is or what the score was, that we both have a chance to see what each other have done. I think too how they've been able to adjust and how we've been able to adjust since then. So, it's kind of one of those things like you think but you don't really know until you come Saturday at 1 o'clock.
Well, Hankinson just lived this out too. We were talking with Jason Moneylaws last week. They played Maple River, a team they lost to, and then they beat them on Saturday. They're living out exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah, and they've handled that real well. I mean, Maple River they were a better football team than they were earlier in the season, and so is Hankinson too. So yeah, it's fun to watch. I mean, it's playoff football. There's going to be a lot of competition and a lot of back and forth at this point, and see where it all falls.
The bye week, Andy, is that how you handle that? You're not used to that. High school football just doesn't hand. So how did you do that last week?
Yeah, it's always tough to think, what do we do? How do we do we spend a lot of time tackling again? And I think we really worked on some fundamentals last week. We took some time to probably spend more mentally preparing for what the next week was going to be like. So we were easier on the body, but you always worry for high school kids because they're not as mature as the college players and the programs where you kind of live and breathe it. So I think our group of kids though are so mature that they can handle, I think, just about anything as far as a day off, or whether we're going to go half pads or if it's going to be, hey, a full pad, tough practice. So we're fortunate to have those types of kids on our team that just can be mature about it.
You're not used to having a Friday or a Saturday off. What did you do?
Yeah,
what did you do
well,
last week?
I went. It was weird. Friday, I was home Friday night, and yeah, watched a little football. I think I took my son pheasant hunting that morning, and
There you go.
but that was kind of a relaxing Saturday. Went out and watched that Maple River Hankinson game, and went back.
Of course
home,
you
got to
did.
see
You were,
the
of course, you were
Yeah.
scouting. You had to know that.
Oh
So.
yeah. Yeah, no days off here.
We talked about this off air. The level of talent in 9-man, you and I have talked about this, heck, over the last handful of years. This year, it seems it's spread out all over the place. I look at the top 4 seeds. Any of those teams could win the whole thing. How much have you kept an eye on I know you're keeping an eye on your team, but seeing scores from around the state all year, like, holy, we knew they were going to be good, and that's proven out.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. I think I think every school that's kind of been in the top 5, 6, 7 have kind of been piquing their interest across the state, and whether that's New Rockford, West Hope, North Border, Linton, Central McLean's in that picture too.
Yep.
So I mean, I think it's always in the back of coaches' minds as much as they say, hey, we're taking it one week at a time. I know what you're thinking. You're still thinking down the road, and that's okay. I mean, that's what we do, and we try to kind of prepare ourselves for what we're expecting us to be able to build to. So there's really some really good football out there, and I think it's going to really show here in the next like I said 3-4 weeks.
I'm not saying this because you're on, but your home environment was one of the best out there. Why are, especially now, playoff games, those so special, Lemoore? When you get a home playoff game, what makes the atmosphere around a game so special in your mind?
Well, it's just our community, our community to be able to come together and support our football team. And, you got people there, they've got those electronic tickets now, and
Yeah.
you got our older crowd that's not, cell phone savvy. They're in the office talking to Coach Isaacson about how do I get my tickets. And so it was, there's people wanting to be there. They want to support our boys, and also that those younger kids too, really enjoy, watching football and playing football in the background. It's the old school, you watch our film and all of a sudden there's a ball in there and you go, where'd that come from? Well, it's in the background because kids are back there playing football. So just a special place. Our field is always in
Fantastic.
great condition.
Yep.
And kind of unique, with inside the baseball diamond there. So it's just all around, I think, just a special place.
Plus, there people show up like 2 hours for the game, right? That's normal. The people are lining up to get in.
Yeah, there's usually Nefla soup or ham sandwiches being served, and got to get there early. So if you
Yes.
want to get some soup, and right now it's starting to feel more like Nefla soup weather.
Two things here. I think I know the answer to this. Best player that you coached, best player that you coached against.
Gosh, that's a tough one. Best player that I've coached. Well, I got to go. I got to bring up Travis Beck when I coached in Langdon. I
Yep, I
mean
figured that.
that yeah, that kid he was. You look at him, you go, "What's so special about him?" And you watch him play, and you go, "Wow, that kid's a freak. He's a great
Yep.
athlete." And so I mean, he was something special. And played against. Gosh, we've seen a lot of good ones from. I mean, gosh, I can go back to my days in Langdon, but also, most recently, I think Cavaliers really brought out some really good talent back in the 13-14 era
Mm,
with Brock Robbins and the Crest kid that was there. I
yeah.
mean, there was some pretty good talent in that class. Yeah, Cody Mauk. I mean,
It's all right.
played against him. I mean, that's an NFL athlete right now. I remember him still trampling over our corner that was only about 5'6" that year. So it's hard not to bring his name up.
Well,
So yeah, it's been awesome.
how good were his hands? I don't know if people know that. How good of a receiver was he, Cody?
He was a great receiver,
Yeah.
and like he was a good athlete, and I think that's what got him to where he is today. I mean, yeah, you can put size on someone, but what do you do with that size? And he's proven that it takes more than just speed and strength, and you got to have the whole gamut. So yeah, it's cool to watch.
It's great to see you, bud. Thanks so much for the time. Good luck on Saturday. We'll talk soon, okay?
Yeah, appreciate it, Dom. Thank you.
Andy DeLaBarre, head coach of Lemoore Litchfield Marion. The Lobos open up their playoff quest second round on Saturday. They host Jason Moneylaw's Hankinson Pirates. A couple of good guys there matching up in the second round of the North Dakota 9-man tournament as the road to the Dome underway there. Class A begins its opening round this weekend. Double A and Triple A start next week as, we're here. It's October 23rd, so it's time for the playoffs to be happening in Minnesota and North Dakota. We're due for a break. We come back. We'll wrap up hour one. Big second hour on tap. It's Bison Media Zone Wednesday. Jeff Kolpak will join me in studio. We roll on. We're back after this.